Welcome students. Today, since your UTs are coming, so we are revising chapter 3, pair of linear equations in two variables. So in this video, I am going to quickly recapitulate whatever we have done in this chapter. Pair of linear equations in two variable, as you all know, linear equation in two variable general form is ax plus by plus c equal to 0. So when we talk about pair of linear equations in two variable, so let's take one example, one of the equations as a1x plus b1y plus c1 equal to 0. And the other equation a2x plus b2y plus c2 equal to 0. Now in the chapter we learnt how to solve a pair of linear equations. We learnt solving a pair of linear equations by two different approaches. One was graphical approach and the other is algebraic approach. In graphical approach, we plotted the graph. And in algebraic method, we have three different methods of solving a pair of linear equations. One is substitution, other is elimination, and the third is cross multiplication method. Now cross multiplication method this year has been deleted from your syllabus. So we are just left with substitution method and elimination method. Now let's talk about graphically solving a linear equation, the graphical approach of solving a linear equation. You know, a linear equation in two variable represents a straight line. So when we plot a graph, you have learnt in class 9 also and you have done in class 10 even now. When we plot a graph, we get a straight line, and when we plot a graph of two equations, you will get two straight lines. So when you draw two lines on a graph, or that is a plane, on a plane, we encounter these three different cases. We'll have either the lines will meet, or the lines will be same, they will overlap with each other, or the lines will run parallel to each other. If the lines meet, we call them intersecting lines. If the lines overlap each other, the same line and the other line is on the top of it, or they are overlapping lines, we call it coincident lines. And if the lines are running parallel, it's parallel lines. Then we observed relationship between the coefficients even. In case of intersecting lines, we call them consistency conditions. Because in case, see, if we have intersecting lines, the graph of these two equations, see, we know every point on a line represents a solution. So all the solutions, a line has infinite solutions, and a line has infinite points. All points on this equation, on the line, they represent solutions. So geometrically speaking, every point on the line represents a solution. Now when we have two intersecting lines, we have this point common. So this point of intersection, this is the common solution for both the equations. This point of intersection is a common solution for both the equations. So in case of intersecting lines, we call it unique solution. The solution exists, and what kind of solution exists? They have a unique solution. And we call system is consistent. System is consistent. And it has unique solution. In case of coincident lines, every point on line 1 is a solution of line 1, and every point on line 2 is the solution of line 2. And these two, both the lines represent the same lines. Line 1 is also the same, line 2 is also the same. That means every point is the solution. So they have many solutions. Again, this has solution, so we call it consistent. But what kind of solutions it has? It has infinite solutions. All the points, they are the common solutions to both the equations. So we have infinite solutions here in case of coincident lines. In case of parallel lines, there is no common solution. The lines do not meet. The solutions of this line are the points on this line. Solution of this line are the points on this line. So I don't have any common solution. So we say no solution exists. So we call such a system as inconsistent solution. Right? And we learned system of linear equations is either consistent or inconsistent. Consistent means solution exists, and inconsistent means solution doesn't exist. Consistent means solution exists, and if solution exists, two different types of solution exist that we have discussed. One is unique solution, other is Many solution, that is one solution or many solution. So one solution we call it unique solution. In case of unique solution, graph is, we observe graph is intersecting lines. And we have studied, when we have studied the consistency conditions also. In case of unique solution, consistency conditions are a1 by a2 is not equal to b1 by b2. The coefficients of x, that is a1 and a2, and the coefficients of y in both the equations b1 and b2, they are not equal. Many solutions, we call it infinitely many solutions, actually infinitely many solutions. In this case, graph is, what is the graph? Graph is coincident lines. Coincident lines. And the conditions are a1, all the coefficients, ratio of the coefficients of all the variables will be equal here. And the constant also. a1 by a2 equal to b1 by b2 equal to c1 by c2. Now in case of inconsistent, which is no solution, graph is parallel lines. And a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 but not equal to c1 by c2. We have already done these. In case of parallel lines, that is no solution, inconsistent, graph is a1 by b2 equal to b1 by b2, a1 by a2 equal to b1 by b2 but not equal to c1 by c2. So these conditions, we call them consistency conditions. We call them consistency conditions. Consistency. Why we call them consistency conditions? Consistency, word consistent means solution exists. So these conditions are for the solutions of a set of linear equations. So for unique solution, we have a1 by a2 is not equal to b1 by b2. For infinite solutions, I have all the three equal. And for no solution, that is parallel lines, graph is parallel lines, for no solution I have a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 but not equal to c1 by c2. We have these conditions. Now then we learned the application part of this. Since these conditions are given, we learned how to solve. The questions were like, first check if the following pair of equations are consistent or inconsistent. So using consistency conditions we find out. See, in such cases we first find out what is a1 by a2. a1 is 2, b1 is 4. This is 1 by 2. Find out what is b1 by b2. b1 here is -3 and C1 is, B2 is -6, again 1 by 2. Now, important thing is when you are finding constants, ratio of constants, you need to make sure that your constant term in both the equations, if it is on right side, okay. Otherwise, normally we prefer bring the equations in the standard form. But if both the equations, the constant term is on right hand side, then you need not bother about the signs. Then I can directly take it. Right, because if I transpose them to the left hand side, it will be -8 and -9 and they will cancel each other. So it's always advisable, you should first take them, bring them to this side, make them in the normal form, standard form, bring everything to the left hand side and the right hand side should be equated to 0. So what is C1 here? -8 and this is -9, so 8 by 9. Now what do we observe? We observe a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 but not equal to c1 by c2. Now what are these conditions for? You remember, for unique solution the condition was a1 by a2 not equal to b1 by b2. For many solution the condition was a1 by a2 equal to b1 by b2 equal to c1 by c2. And for no solution the condition was first two equal but not equal to the constants. So this, therefore we get the given system is inconsistent. This is no solution, that is inconsistent. So we need to answer according to the question. If the question is asking consistent, inconsistent, I am right giving the answer in that particular form. Now let's take another example. Now he says find out whether the lines representing the following pair of equations intersect at a point, parallel or coincident. Now we need to tell whether the lines these equations represent, they are what kind of lines, intersecting, parallel or coincident. Question is same, we again need to apply consistency conditions. Now before I apply consistency conditions, I need to ensure that my equations are in the standard form. Observe, yes, they are in the standard form. So what is a1 by a2? 5, and here it is 7. b1 by b2, let's find out, it's minus 4 here and it is plus 6. So which is minus 2 by 3. Then c1 by c2, if I find out, this is 8 and this is minus 9. So we observe, what do we observe, children? We observe that these two are not equal. a1 by a2 is not equal to b1 by b2. So this implies what kind of lines? Unique. Unique solution to lines are intersecting lines. So answer in the form in which the question is asking you. Question asking you about what kind of lines? Intersecting, parallel or whatever. So intersecting lines here. Next kind of questions that we have done here is if the lines, now the condition, they are given in the question, it's given what kind of lines. We need to find the value of one of the unknown quantities. If the lines represented by these equations are parallel, then find the value of k. So first let's write down the equations. 3x plus 2ky. I can observe it's not in the standard form. I'm making it in the standard form. Second equation is 2x plus 5y plus 1 equal to 0. Now, question says equation, the lines are parallel. Now for parallel lines, what is the consistency condition? For parallel lines, the consistency conditions are a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 but not equal to c1 by c2. So we need to first find out a1 by a2. What is a1 by a2 here? 3 by 2. What is b1 by b2 here? 2k by 5, and c1 by c2 is minus 2 by 1. Now this implies substituting in star, what do I get? 3 by 2 is equal to 2k by 5 is not equal to minus 2. So if I solve these equations, what do I get? I need to find the value of k for which they represent. So not equal to, I will not look into, I'll look into these two. So these two equations will give me the value of k. This is 3 by 2 is equal to 2 by 5k. If I try and solve them, I get 3 into 5 by 2 into 2 is k, which gives me 15 by 4 is the value of k. So for k equal to 15 by 4, these equations will represent parallel lines. Let's take one more. For what value of k will the following pair of equations have infinitely many solutions? Now what do we do for infinite solutions? First let's write the equations. Equations are already in the standard form. Now let's find out what is a1 by a2. a1 by a2 here is k by 12. What is b1 by b2 here? b1 by b2 is 3 by minus k. And c1 by c2 here is minus of this bracket by minus k. Minus minus goes away. Now he says infinite many solutions. For infinite solutions, condition is, consistency condition says a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 equal to c1 by c2. So let us equate them. So I get k by 12 is equal to 3 by minus k is equal to k minus 3 by k. Now I can see two sets of equations. I can have these two, I can have these two, or I can have these two. So we can have three different sets of equations. I am looking for the value of k. So let us take first this set. K by 12 is equal to 3 by minus k. So cross multiply, I get minus k square is equal to 36. Is it minus k? I think I have copied the question wrong. It should not be minus k. It should be plus k here. Let me check it from your, this is the solved example of your book. There should be plus k in place of minus k. Yes, it's plus k. No, minus and minus sign have already gone, so this is plus k, and this question, this is 3, yeah, this is plus k. This sign is positive here. Plus k, plus, plus, plus. I copied the question wrong, sorry for that. This will be plus ky. K square is 36. Now, you remember children, how do we find the value of find the zeros, or how do we find the solutions? In order to find the zeros, actually when you are finding the value of a variable, geometrically speaking, of a quadratic equation, this is a quadratic equation or a linear equation or whatever equation, geometrically speaking, we are trying to find the value, find the zeros. Now if I am trying to find the zeros, we learnt always first equate the equation to 0 or the polynomial to 0 or whatever. Equated it to 0, I brought it, this is equal to 0, the equation. The degree here is 2. So never ever directly simplify. What do you do is k square is 36, k is 6. So you lose 1 0. Actually, the right approach is to factorize. So k, this is k square minus 36. So can I write this? So k plus 6 and k minus 6 is 0. So either I get k as k plus 6 is 0 or k minus 6 is 0. So I get either k as minus 6 or k as 6. So whenever we have a square root of a perfect square number, so you can either directly write k square equal to 36 implies, if you remember, you can directly write it k is plus minus 6. How does this comes plus minus 6? I have solved it here. Actually, because plus 6 square is also 36 and minus 6 square is also 36. And the right approach I have already given you here. You can skip these steps, you can directly write, but if you do not skip the step, either you remember that it will be always plus minus 6, or make it a habit that whenever you have a degree greater than 1, you factorize and then equate the factors to 0. Now if I look at these equations, the other set of equations, 3 by k is equal to k minus 3 by k. What do I get if I try and solve? 3k is equal to k into k minus 3. 3k is equal to k square minus 3k. So we get k square minus 6k. I am bringing it to side. Again, remember the rule, golden rule, factorize and then equate the factors to 0. So I have factorized, k is 0 or k minus 6 is 0. K is 0 or k is 6. So we have got how many different values? I've got either k is minus 6 or k is 6, and from these two equations I've got k is 0 and k equal to 6. So we take the common value of k. So k equal to 6 is a common solution. Therefore, k equal to 6 is the answer. You take the common value. So for infinite solutions, when we have two different sets of values, I'll have to see, I can find the value of k from this set of equations also, I can find the value of k from another set of equations also. So in such cases, you need to solve both the sets of equations and you need to take in the end the common values that you get. But always remember the golden rule. The golden rule is that whenever the degree of a polynomial is greater than 1, first factorize the polynomial in order to find the solution, roots or the zeros. First factorize the polynomial and then equate the factors to 0. If you do not do this, then you will lose one of the zeros, and in this question you can lose a 0 here and you can lose a 0 here. So that means you end up losing marks. Next, coming to algebraic method of solving linear equations. Children, we learned there are three different approaches, that is elimination method, substitution, elimination and cross multiplication. And cross multiplication is not in your syllabus. For this year it's been deleted by CBSE. So we have just two methods, substitution and elimination. So let me first solve it by substitution method. As the name itself says, substitution method, you take out the value of one of the variables from one equation and substitute it in the other equation. So can I write this equation as y is equal to 5 minus 2x? Now this is second equation. Let me substituting y equal to 5 minus 2x in equation 2. So what do we get? 3x plus 2 into 5 minus 2x. In place of y I am writing this. So there are many terms, I am using a bracket, equal to 8. So distributive property will apply. This 2 will get multiplied to all the terms. 2 into 5, 10, minus 2 into 2, 4, y is equal to 8. Sorry, this is x. So I have minus x plus 10 equal to 8. So I get minus x is equal to 8 minus 10. Minus x is equal to minus 2. Minus minus goes away, x is 2. Now substituting x equal to 2 in y equal to 5 minus 2x. We'll get the value of y. This is 5 minus 4, which is 1. So I got the value of y as 1 and x as 2. So our x is 2 and y is 5 minus 2x. So y is 1. Now elimination method. Now if I solve it by elimination method, what do we get? If I use elimination method, in order to apply elimination method, what do we get? In elimination approach, what do we do in these equations? We make the coefficient of one of the equation of one of the variables same. Elimination method, as the name itself says, we try and eliminate. How do we try and the elimination methods? We will have to eliminate one of the variables. How do we eliminate one of the variables? See here, 2x plus y equal to 5. We will make the coefficients, we will make the coefficients of one of the variables same. And which variable will make the coefficient same? That depends on the coefficients of the variable. We'll have to study the coefficients of the variable in both the equations. This is 2 into x and this is 3x. Here the coefficient of y is 1 and here the coefficient of y is 2. So I think this one is easy. Making coefficient of y is easier. Making the coefficient of y same in both the equations is easier. See, the coefficient here is 2 and the coefficient here is 1. So if I multiply this equation by 2, I'll get the coefficient same. So multiplying by 2, what do I get? Adding this equation, this. So let's add this. Let's call this equation 1, this equation 2. Now adding 1 and 2, I get 4x plus 2y equal to 10. 3x plus 2y equal to 8. Do we have to add or we need to subtract? The signs here, the adding or subtracting depends on the signs of the variable, of the terms of the variable which we have made the coefficient same. Here is plus, here is plus. So adding won't do, we'll have to subtracting these equations. Right? So if I subtract these equations, which one I'm subtracting? I'm subtracting 2 from 1. We are subtracting equation 2 from 1. So you need not write, because this subtracting this from this at times is confusing. So you can simply write subtracting the equations. Put the sign here, change the signs. This goes away. I have x is equal to 2. Now substituting x equal to 2 in one of the equations. Let's substitute it in equation 2. So 3 into 2 plus 2y is 8. 6 plus 2y is 8. 2y is 8 minus 6. 2y is 2. So I get y as 1. So x is 2 and y is 1, my solution. And here also we got the solution x 2 and y 1. Of the same equation, If the set of equations are same, you solve by any method, the solutions will be same. Then we have learnt solving pair of equations. Now equations which are not in the normal form, so these are equations reducible to normal form. So you have studied these kind of equations also, which are not given in the normal form, which you need to reduce them to the normal form. How do we reduce them? We say let 1 upon x minus 1 is a and 1 upon y minus 2 is b. Observe the coefficient, the denominators are same in both the equations. So if I substitute this, what do I get? 5a plus 1 is 2. And the other equation that I get, 6a minus 3b is 1. These are the two equations. Now you can solve it by any method of your choice. You can solve it, this is b, right? You can solve it either 1 into b is b. This you can either solve it by elimination or substitution. But children, my personal advice, always solve by elimination method. That's a faster method. So if I need to apply elimination, how do we do it? This is 1, this is 2. Which coefficient? I need to look at the coefficients of a and b. A and b 5 and 6. A is 5 and 6, b is 1 and minus 3. So I think I can eliminate b. So multiplying 1 by 3, what do I get? Equation 1 by 3. 15a plus 3b equal to 6. The other equation, 6a minus 3b equal to 1. You can see the signs are different, so I need to add them together. So cancel. 21a is 7. I got a as 7 by 21, which is 1 by 3. Now substituting a as 1 by 3 in second equation में substitute कर दें. Any equation you want, you can do it, but I am doing in second because 6 and 3. 6 is a multiple of 3. I'll get rid of the fraction. Won't have to take the LCMs. So 6 into 1 by 3 minus 3b is equal to 1. So we have 2 minus 3b equal to 1. Minus 3b is equal to 1 minus 2. Which gives me minus 3b is equal to minus 1. Minus minus goes away. I get b equal to 1 by 3. Now children, we got a as 1 by 3 and I got b as 1 by 3. a 1 by 3 gives me, now see, a is 1 by 3 implies, what was a? 1 upon x minus 1 is 1 by 3. b is 1 by 3 implies 1 upon y minus 2 is 1 by 3. So we get this. Now let us simplify. How can I simplify? Cross multiply, or you can say reciprocating both sides. I get x minus 1 equal to 3 and I get y minus 2 equal to 3. So we get x is 3 plus 1 and we get y is 3 plus 2. X is 4 and y is 5. That's the solution of the given set of equations. x3, y, x4 and y5. Then another type of equations, different equations that we have done is these kind of equations where we have the coefficients big. 37x plus 43y is 123, 43x plus 37y is equal to 117. In addition to have large coefficients of x and y, if you are observant enough, you see the coefficient of x is the coefficient of y in the other equation and the coefficient of y in the other equation is the coefficient of x. So in such equations, we have a special technique to solve such equations, and that special technique is once you add these two equations and another time you subtract these two equations and the equations reduce to very very simple forms and you'll be able to solve those equations. If I add, I get 80x plus 80y is equal to 240. So I get x plus y is 3 dividing by 80. This is 1. Now let us subtract them together. If I subtract them together, let's write the equations once and write the sign that we are doing. I'm trying to subtract, so subtraction. Signs change. So what do we have? Minus 6x plus 6y equal to 6. Dividing the equation by 6, I get minus x plus y equal to 1. So observe, my equations are reduced to very simple forms. X plus y equal to 3 and minus x plus y equal to 1. So now x plus y equal to 3 minus x plus y equal to 1. Let's add these two equations. 2y is equal to 4. I get y is 2. Substituting in 2. Minus x plus 2 is 1. Minus x is equal to 1 minus 2. Minus x is equal to minus 1. I get x as 1. So x is 1 and y is 2 is the solution. Then children, there are many word problems in this chapter. The word problems you can attempt by any method. In the word problems, what do you need to do? You need to read the question carefully, thoughtfully, and you need to translate the word problem into correct mathematical model in order to solve them. So once you translate it to correct mathematical model, then you can apply any method of your choice to solve the equations. Either you solve by substitution or by elimination. That is your call. Whatever method you are comfortable with, but elimination is always advisable. In word problems, one particular word problem that generally the children find it difficult is, I'll simply explain you the meaning of upstream and downstream. Upstream and downstream means, see, when you are doing such questions, there are two constraints. The two constraints are speed of stream, that is speed of water or current, x kilometer per hour if I take, and speed of boat. These are the two constraints. If I take this as y kilometer per hour, when will your boat move? If your speed is bigger than the speed of the current. So always remember, this boat speed will always be greater than the speed of the current. Now when you are going upstream means you are going up the hill. Always remember, upar chadna hai. So when you need to climb the ladder or when you need to go up the hill, you need to apply more force. Force zyada lagta hai and output is less. So that is difference. In that case, speed upstream will be boat speed minus the speed of the stream. So y minus x. Downstream when you go, that is you go with the flow of water. So when you are going with the flow of water, so your speed increases, right? Water also pushes your boat. So in that case, both the speeds are added. Another important concept is two-digit number. Always remember, in case of two-digit number, let's take the units digit as x and the tens digit as y. If you always write the number like this, you will not do it wrong. Ones place digit is x and the digit at tens place be y. So what is your original number? Original number will be, you remember, we write the number in the expanded form. Place value into the digit plus place value into the digit. So 10 into y plus x. This is the original number. And reverse number, how do we write? When you reverse the digits, here will be y and here will be x. Again, place value and the digit. So the number will be 10x plus y. Then whatever the relation in the question given, you can solve it accordingly. With this, I rest here only. I hope you will be able to revise the chapter thoroughly. Right? Do it from NCERT. All the concepts that are covered in the chapter, I have covered here. Consistency conditions, finding solutions, everything we have covered. Thank you.